We live? We live. Let people start to come in here. We'll get this party started. Let's go. We live. Let people start to come in here. We'll get this party started. Let's go. That's not good. All right, turtle. All right, what's up, Turtle Riders? And welcome to, hold on, let me get this fucking podcast, little fupa computer going on there. All right, welcome to Uncle Turtle Boy's Late Night Garage Podcast in the basement now. We're moving up in the world there. Just a reminder, guys, we do this show every Tuesday and Thursday at 9:30. All right, but we also record it, so it's on the podcast. You can listen to it the next day, whatever. But you can follow live on YouTube. I know a lot of you are on YouTube right now. That's great. It's awesome because we can interact with you that way, answer questions, etc. It's always better that way, because doing a podcast, I used to do a regular podcast, and it just wasn't the same because you can't take questions from people. You can't communicate with Turtle Riders that way. It just wasn't the same as doing like a live show. So, this episode is brought to you by our good friends over at Garage Doors Plus in Quincy. You can find them online at gdplus.com. Jesus Christ. gdplus.com. Garage Doors Plus in Quincy has been doing great business, guys, since the beginning of time, pretty much. If you have one of those old, rickety garage doors, right, you come home, you get out of your car, you go and put your key in there, you turn it, you open it up, you get back into the car, you drive into the garage, you get out, you walk over, you pull the garage down, you lock it back up. It's time to get with the times, folks. All right, seriously, I'm embarrassed for you. Call up our good friends at Garage Doors Plus in Quincy. They will come over that day. They will give you a quote that is so fair, you're going to have no choice but to hire them. Make sure you tell them that the Turtle sent you, by the way. They love hearing that. And they will install it that day. You'll get a nice little clicker. Your life will be changed forever. I promise you it'll be much more convenient. They've been doing great business. They'll pretty much go anywhere, all over Massachusetts, Rhode Island, doesn't matter. They'll come and see you. All right? Garage Doors Plus in Quincy, gdplus.com. Tell them the Turtle sent you. All right. With that said, I'd also like to remind you guys, please, if you'd like to help us out and keep us going in the face of unprecedented censorship and lawsuits and whatnot, please do the ad-free subscription. It's only $10 a month. You hardly notice it. You will have a much better viewing experience with Turtle Boy. I promise you, you're gonna love it. A lot of people here are on ad-free. They can probably tell you it's awesome. The computer doesn't affect you as much that way. It's fantastic. So, without further ado, I'd like to say I'm going to go ahead right now and I'm going to share the YouTube live YouTube computer here. If you could share it and let them know, let people know about it, that would be great. Oh, let me bring it up here. There it is. Where Trump tweets racist. That's the topic of today's conversation. One of the topics of today's conversation. Let me bring it up over here. 20 years ago today, JFK Jr. had it, huh? JFK Jr. died. Woo. All right. We live. Come on, Fupa computer. We live. All right, there we go. So you see me sharing that? Go ahead and share that along with me. All right, so what I wanted to talk about today, the first thing I wanted to talk about was something that's been all over the news, and that is Trump's freaking latest freaking meltdown over on Twitter. And I posted on Facebook about 15 minutes ago. I'll read it out loud. It says, "Do you think President Trump's tweets were racist? I don't, but I also hate echo chambers and enjoy conversations with you people that I don't agree with. I plan on talking about this topic on the podcast tonight. If you'd like to have a conversation with me explaining why you think it was racist, let me know, and I'll call you right here on Facebook. This isn't a gotcha situation. I just really hate echo chambers." Now, I mean every word of that, by the way. One of the downfalls of being, Uncle Turtle Boy, if you will, is that people are afraid to speak their minds around me. I really hate it because they're worried that, I'll blog about them if I disagree. And I think you completely have the wrong impression about what Turtle Boy is and isn't if you think that that's what I do or what we do or what we stand for. I don't go after people simply because, I disagree with them. You have to try to get on Turtle Boy, right? Like, you have to really do something outrageous. Like the woman today from Weymouth. Yeah, she's a liberal and she ended up on Turtle Boy, but that's not why she ended up on Turtle Boy. She ended up on Turtle Boy because she went on a public page and shit on the entire city of Weymouth. If you didn't read that blog, go back and read it. And she's completely psycho. We like entertaining people. Simply saying that I had a disagreement with you is not entertainment. So a lot of people are afraid. I hate to say they're afraid of me, and I hate that. I'm not a bad guy. Nobody should be afraid of me. Nobody should be afraid to have a discussion with me. I'm not gonna roast you. I have no intention of that. I'm honestly looking for a civilized conversation with people I disagree with, simply because I hate echo chambers, right? I don't want Turtle Boy to turn into an echo chamber. And most Turtle Riders who post or comment at least are right-wing. That's just undeniable at this point. We see it all the time. However, I get a liberal, but I just believe in free speech. I'm just not a SJW. They always throw that little caveat in there. I'm not an SJW. And that's great. And it tells me that people who are left-leaning that like Turtle Boy are afraid to speak publicly. And I can't say I blame them because they know that if they do, they're just going to get attacked, right, by other Turtle Riders. And I can't control that, right? This is a free speech forum. People are going to say what they want to say, right? But let me just say that I think it's healthy in any forum to have differing opinions heard, okay? And so let's talk about that for a moment. So I would like to officially invite anyone who's listening right now who disagrees with my assessment to come on here. Let me call you, and we'll have a talk about this. I generally want to hear about why, right? So here, for those of you living in a hole, let's check out Donald Trump's Twitter to see what he said that is really upsetting people lately, all right? So this happened on, I want to say, Sunday morning. Only Trump would wake up on a Sunday morning and start shit. Gotta love it. Let me pull him up here. Come on, Trump. All right. So I'll sum it up for you. Basically, there's this group of 4 congresswomen, newly elected congresswomen, fresh new faces, if you will. They're radical left. It's Ilhan Omar, AOC, Rashida Tlaib, and Ayanna Pressley. I find them unbearable, right? These aren't your typical Democrats, and they have really shook things up. What the hell did Michael Capuano ever do wrong to liberals, right? That guy voted in lockstep with liberals 100% of the time. He did everything right, but his crime was being a white dude. That's ultimately what happened. And Ayanna Pressley is the opposite of a white dude, so she woker than him. She takes him down, right? Same thing happened with AOC. She took down like one of the most well-established white dude Democrats in the House of Representatives. So these people have declared war on the Democratic establishment. And last week, they had tweet beef with Nancy Pelosi, the Godfather. And Nancy Pelosi, she hates these women because they're like a thorn in her ass. And she made some comment about them. She said something to the effect of they have their own Twitter world or whatever on the World Wide Webs. And but there's just 4 of them, and that's how many votes they got. They got 4 votes. I thought that was hilarious. I've gained a lot of respect for people like Nancy Pelosi and all this because it's like, okay, well, at least you've established yourself as normal, like a normal Democrat, right? Or the 4 douchebags that voted against this bill, okay? The 4 people who are a pain in the ass constantly, who, by the way, are constantly saying ridiculous shit that people like Nancy have to clean up their fucking mess. Right? Especially Omar. She said some of the most vilely anti-Semitic, anti-Jewish stuff you've ever heard in your life. And Nancy Pelosi, she don't like that shit. So Trump's just sitting there watching this happens. And he's like, well, I can't have this, right? If I see fucking 2 people arguing, I gotta throw some gasoline on it. I cannot have these people calling Nancy Pelosi a racist when they should be calling me a racist. So I'm going to go and dump some gasoline on the fire here. And that's exactly what he does on Sunday morning. Here's the tweet. Let's pull it up here. So he goes, interesting to see progressive Democratic congresswomen who originally came from countries whose governments are a complete and total catastrophe, the worst, most corrupt, and inept anywhere in the world, if they even had a functioning government at all, now loudly and viciously telling the people of the United States, the greatest and most powerful nation on earth, how our government should be run. Why don't they go back and help fix the totally broken and crime-infested places from which they came, then come back and show us how it's done? So this has sparked World War III, this particular thing, because in the House a couple hours ago, passed a resolution like 240 to 187 to condemn this allegedly racist tweet, okay? And my question for you people is, do you think it's racist? Now, I have a feeling I'm going to read in the comments now, and most people are going to say no, right? Because our audience, those that comment, tend to be more right-wing. There's nothing wrong with that, okay? I'm looking for somebody who would like to debate with me, because I'm of the no as well. I do not think that's racist, and I'll explain why in a moment. But I would rather do that with somebody who has a counterpoint to this and would like to. So people are saying, no way it's racist. Nope. Okay. Yeah. Not racist at all. Yeah, like Bristol says, this isn't particularly pertinent to the operations of Capitol Hill. Thank you. Nothing they ever do is pertinent to what happens at Capitol Hill. So anyway, okay. So Bristol does find a race. If Bristol wants to call up, hit me up, Bristol. Okay, call me on Facebook, and I will answer it. Or anybody else. Anybody else. So as you can see, like, because I posted this on Facebook, and some people are saying they're like, what is it? Where are the comments? There's one guy who said, like, I do think it's racist, but I'm not coming on. And it's like, well, why not? It's like, I'm not going to bite you. I swear to God. Right? Like, let's see here. Where is the comment? Where'd it go? Did he delete his comment? Oh, come on. There was one guy on here. I thought we were getting somewhere. Oh, there it is. John says, won't be on your live, but telling people who are U.S. citizens to go back to their country is pretty racist. And I say, come on live. And his response is, nah. But the tweet came from the man who repeatedly said Obama was Kenyan and not American and pushed the birther narrative even though his mother was American. And I said, why not come on live? It's boring having people that don't disagree with each other. And he is ignoring me, it seems. Okay. He says I mumble and I don't like phone calls. So there you go. Okay, so at least he's being honest. All right. So anyway, I guess I have to talk to myself then. I'm going to talk to the, unless Bristol wants to call up and debate me, I'm going to have to talk to the, whatchamacallit, what's it called when you have a person, why am I drawing a blank here? A person, straw man? No, not a straw man. No, what the hell's the word I'm looking for? Devil's advocate. Devil's advocate. So Bristol, yeah, you're the only one here. I guarantee, Bristol, you're not the only one who is like against, who thinks that this is, not problematic at all, right? Like, I guarantee other people think it's racist, but they won't say it because that's unfortunately any group where a majority of people are conservative, the other side is going to be less likely to speak up. That's just a matter of fact. So anyway, let me explain my position then, and anybody who disagrees can feel to. All right. I don't think it's racist for several reasons. First of all, it's just fucking Trump, okay? This is just what he does. He just says whatever the fuck comes to mind. It doesn't, he's literally, his arguments are juvenile. They're like third grade level playground shit. Like literally telling somebody like, go back to your country. It's like, that's like what I would have said in 5th grade to win an argument. Right? That's not racist. It's immature. And secondly, let me just examine this tweet for a moment. He says, who originally came from countries whose governments are a complete and total catastrophe. So only one of those 4, Ilhan Omar, is from another country. And her country is a complete and total catastrophe, which is why she left it. And that's Somalia. And we all understand that. The others are from freaking Roxbury, the Bronx, and Detroit, which are barely different from Somalia. They're like 2 steps away from being Somalia, all of those places. And he says to them, so obviously telling AOC to go back to her country makes no sense at all. Now, keep in mind, Irish, Italian people throughout history, they were often told, go back to your country. We don't want you here. Shit like that. So the idea that being told to go back to your country is racist is ridiculous. Nobody in the world thinks AOC is from any country but the United States, okay? Nobody thinks that. She is the whitest Latino person in the history of Latinos. And let me just explain here for a moment, if you will, that telling someone to go back to their country is not a good argument, right? Because literally, like, the whole point, the whole argument here is that, like, they're criticizing America because they want America to be better, right? I mean, that's just like, to suggest that you can't criticize the country or else you have to leave it is just fucking stupid, right? However, these women have done a lot of, like nothing these women have done would make you think that they have any allegiance whatsoever to the country. Like, what have they done that would make you think that? Last week, they were down at the border, something that I've posted before. She called, it was right after a bunch of Hamas terrorists started shooting rockets into Israel. She said something to the extent of, God bless our Palestinian people. Not the Palestinian people, our. O-U-R. So to me, that tells me she considers herself Palestinian first and then American maybe a little bit later on. That's just how I view it. And Ilhan Omar is the worst of them all. I mean, nothing she does is in any way, shape, or form American. Nothing, right? It's blatantly anti-Semitic. And you talk about offensive shit. She literally said, that Israel is hypnotizing the world. That's like so fucking anti-Semitic, I don't know where to start. She said it's all about the Benjamins, baby, when it comes to like Jewish influence on American foreign policy. She says that Jewish Americans, right, have dual loyalty towards Israel and the United States, which is anti-Semitic, right? These people are associated with anti-Semitism all the time, and they don't apologize for it. And this is what pissed me off the most, right? There was supposed to be a vote on this. Back in March when Ilhan Omar was talking about the Jews, there was supposed to be a vote to condemn her specific comments in the Congress. And that was a good thing, right? But then Nancy got ripped apart by the woke part, the Bernie crew, right? The woke crew. And she said, okay, we're not going to condemn her. We're going to condemn hate speech as a whole, which is just fucking pointless. It defeats the whole purpose. It's like saying, well, we're not going to, like, what the Republicans should have done today is countered and said, how about we just vote to condemn hate speech altogether or racism altogether? Because that's basically what they did with her back in the day. So how the fuck is this racist telling someone to go back to your country when one of them is not from this country and none of them seem to have any loyalty to this country, right? So I don't get, how is that fucking racist? Somebody explain it to me. Are you suggesting that he would not do that? Okay, I guess I'll play the devil's advocate here, right? Devil's advocate is saying basically he would not have done that if the congressperson were white, right? That's the argument, is that if these 4 women were white, he would not have done that. I disagree. If the 4 people were white and they were saying and doing the kind of shit that these 4 people were, like, Ayanna Pressley is blatantly racist. Blatantly. She said the other day, like, we don't need brown faces that don't act brown. What the fuck does that mean? What? And she also said that she called Kellyanne Conway Becky. If you don't think that's fucking racist, I don't know. I use the word Becky a lot because racism towards white people is acceptable. That's why I use it. I would never call a black woman like a stereotypical name for a black woman. You can't even say a stereotypical black name for a woman because that in and of itself is racist, right? But you can call white women Becky. That's okay. See how fucking insane that is? It's insane, folks. It's insane. Let me call Bristol. Well, Bristol, can I call you? I don't know which fucking... Bristol, you have to call me on Clarence because I don't know which name to call. You're always suspended. Call right on here, Bristol, please. Or... let me see if I can bring up Skype here. No, I can call it right on there. Unc, would you tell Nancy Pelosi to go back to your country? If Nancy Pelosi had a history of going on Twitter and saying anti-Semitic things about Israel, yes, I would absolutely tell her to go back to her country. Hold on one sec. You're calling me on the phone. Let's see. How do I answer this? Hold on. Trying to answer. Just foop. Okay, we got it. She on? Okay, are we live? You there, Bristol? Hopefully she's on. Come on. I'm really enjoying this conversation with myself. You there, Bristol?
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. How are you?
I'm good.
Okay. So
sorry, I'm always the dissenting one here.
Yeah, let's hear it.
You're right, though. There is a certain amount of self-censorship that comes with this, I think, when you're boxed in. But I don't give a fuck.
Yeah,
so
let me have it.
The only reason that I would say that this tweet was racist, and I really don't think that it's terribly nefarious in his intent, because the guy just has verbal diarrhea perpetually, is because the dictionary definition of racism is prejudice, discrimination, or antagonism directed against someone of a different race based on the belief that one's own race is superior. So when he's telling an American citizen that happens to be a different race to essentially go back to your own shithole country, that is kind of textbook definition racism. It's not this like systemic racism that they're always railing on. It doesn't put them at a disadvantage. They weren't discriminated against or somehow, oppressed in this comment, but the comment itself was kind of textbook rooted in racism. For what it's worth, it's completely sort of, it doesn't matter to the day-to-day operations of the government. It certainly, I can't believe that they would take a vote on this, but they did.
Yes.
But, I would say that it's racist, yeah.
Yeah. So, would it have been racist if one of the congresswomen, like, suppose one of these women was fucking Hungarian or something like that, or Russian, and they were saying the same, and they were like on Trump's shit list too, and he told them to go back to their country and fix it? Would that be racist?
Yeah, like as in race Hungarian or actually from Hungary?
Like actually from Hungary, or whatever. Either way.
I mean, it would.
But what I'm getting at is Hungarian people are white.
Right. Yes. I mean, it's still a different ethnicity. It's still. I mean, I don't know if is race just color or is race because I mean you're correct.
Yeah,
there was
race
a
is
huge
color. Race is color. Ethnicity is, Hungarians are a different ethnic group than Irish, but race is skin color. I think, right? I think for what
I don't know because I mean at one point people thought that the Irish were terrible, dirty people that needed to go back to their country. That's kind of racism, right? It's still it's
xenophobia.
It's an attitude that
xenophobia.
Yeah, maybe that's the better. I mean, I would say that he's probably more xenophobic in his tweeting generally than he is racist.
I think it's a much stronger.
He was kind of making the assumption that the undertone to that tweet is because you're a different race, you don't belong here, even though they're American citizens. Or would you disagree with that?
I kind of disagree with that simply because he said, go back. It was like, you got to read the whole tweet. And I don't want to be one of these guys that's like, well, actually he meant this. But it seems to be that way. He says specifically, why don't they go back and help fix the totally broken and crime-infested places from which they came, then come back and show us how it's done. So to me, that reads as somebody who's saying, you talk a lot of shit, right, about how bad America is, but where you're from, Somalia, he's obviously talking about Omar, why don't you go back there, fix that country, and then give us advice about how to fix this country? That's how I took that.
Is he talking in the plural, though?
Yeah, I think that's just Trump not thinking things through. Like, you're right.
That is being that guy and being presumptuous. So to say, well, I think he meant this. I mean, speaking in the plural, out of the 4 women that he seems to be targeting this at, only one is actually not from this country. She came here and she was like 10, to be fair, and she is definitely anti-American in most of her rhetoric. But I mean, for all intents and purposes, she's an American, right? Like, there's no going back.
I think Tlaib is,
especially not for the other 3.
I think Tlaib is pretty. Like the tweet she said about our Palestinian people, like,
oh yeah,
she considers herself Palestinian first, and so I think that has something to do with this, right? Like, that's just, you're a fucking elected member of Congress, like, now you're an our people is the American people, no?
Yes, I mean, and particularly for the other 3 women, which I mean, I'm not necessarily defending their competence in office, because that would be, fruitless. Like, we're not talking about great politicians here or anything like that. But, I mean, when you get to the tweet, I can absolutely see, why it's racist. I can't see why it matters that much, because, I mean, we are just so myopically focused on language and rhetoric that we're missing, important operational day-to-day things that probably should be accomplished, and instead we're going to decide whether or not we as a nation are okay with this tweet. And I mean, why are they deciding this for the entire nation? I mean, clearly we're divided here.
Like, fix
and why does it matter?
Fix big tech instead of like whining about what's racist and what's not racist and who tweeted what. How about we fucking do something about, Facebook monopolies and Google monopolies and Twitter fucking censorship and all these other fucking problems. Like, those are real problems, in my opinion, that affect my day-to-day life. You know what I mean? We lose you, Bristol? We lose Bristol? Trump should hire an intern to tweet for him. You know what, Turtle Interns? You're right about that. Most of these people, the speaker went nutty. Did I lose you guys? Okay. Fupa audio down. Let me try this again. Somebody a tweet intern to tweet for them. I feel like most of these politicians have somebody that tweets for them, like an intern or whatever. I think Trump is like the only guy that does it himself.
Yeah, I think that's. I definitely think some oversight would not always be a bad thing. I mean, he's just like a regular guy, you know what I mean? And like that's. It's probably not the climate for it right now. It definitely doesn't always work out that well. But yeah, I don't think he would ever hire an intern to tweet for him. That's not going to happen.
Well, something I wanted to get your opinion on is this other story I'm briefly going to touch on, and that's the Jen Royle story. Now, if you're not familiar with Jen Royle, so Jen Royle, back when I was on Twitter, she used to follow the Turtle Boy account. We'd have some conversations. I had nothing against Jen Royle, and I still kind of have nothing against Jen Royle. She is a TV personality. She's a very attractive woman in her mid-40s. Still like got a little Jennifer Aniston to her. And she's been on TV. She's had a cooking show, I think. A fairly well-known Boston media personality. And recently she opened up a table in the North End called Table. All right. And it seems to be literally 2 tables, right, Bristol?
Yeah.
Okay. And
it's family style dining.
Right, which means you eat with strangers, correct?
Right.
Yeah. And you don't pick shit off the menu. I've done family style dining. It's kind of fun. It's a different experience. I like family style dining. I know you're not a fan of it, but I kind of like it.
I don't like people, no.
No, you don't like people. I mean, well, it's like going to a Japanese restaurant, right? You're all in a circle. You don't like going to Japanese restaurants, you're all in a circle there?
Yeah, I mean, the hibachi, once in a while, I guess, but you can also, sort of order your own food, too.
Yeah, you're antisocial, huh?
So, I like that part of it.
You're one of those?
Yeah, a little bit.
Okay, all right, gotcha. So, not me, though. I like to go out, I like to meet people, I like to talk to them, so I wouldn't mind that. But she starts this business, and I guess she doesn't have a liquor license because of politics in Boston, which to me is kind of bogus. I think everybody should be allowed to serve booze. But for whatever reason, she doesn't have one yet. And this is obviously hurting your business a lot, when that happens. So, did she take this tweet down? Is it gone? Because I don't see it there.
She probably did.
No way. Get out of here. She says that she is she's got this guy that she calls out on Twitter, and she says, "Hi, at Rob Prager. Hi, Rob. I'm the owner of Table. So it's our fault you can't read. Both that we are temporarily dry and that we have a cancellation policy. FYI, we do know how to run a business. You don't know how to do research. Your issues, not ours." And she posts a picture of a 1-star Yelp review that this guy gave. Now, he gave the Yelp review because he made a reservation after midnight, and then woke up the next day when he found out they didn't have booze, and he wanted to cancel it because I guess the guy wanted to drink booze with dinner. And he was assessed a $50 fee for this, and he wanted it back, and it had been like less than 12 hours, and he didn't get one. And so he calls up the restaurant, he's like, "Can you give me my $50 back? If you don't, I'm going to leave a bad Yelp review." And she's like, "Go for it." So he goes and does that, and now when you comment on Yelp, it's private. It's anonymous. She finds out his information. So she knows she's one of these chicks. She goes through the Yelp reviews, and anything negative, she's like, "Who fucking wrote that? Who fucking wrote that?" And she finds out that this guy wrote it. And she finds his information then through his booking, right? You have to leave a credit card down, and she puts 2 and 2 together and realizes this is the guy that did it. What do you think of that?
No, it's psychotic.
It's psychotic.
Just point blank. That's psychotic. I mean, you're not always going to get 5-star reviews. I think, God knows she has enough, and it blows my mind because we're talking $85 a person to sit at this family style dining and not choose what you're eating. Which, I mean, yeah, for some people, great, but it's expensive. There's no liquor license, and she still has rave reviews. Good for her.
Yeah.
But, you get one bad review and you lose your shit like that. That's
right.
Terrible customer service and
right.
PR. And it's kind of crazy. That's kind of crazy. That she was so personally wounded. She looked up this guy's credit card.
Yeah, that was insane. And it wasn't just once. She went at it all day with these people. So the guy responds. He explains. He's very polite about it, Rob Prager. Yeah, I'm only going to reply to this once. I booked for this restaurant for a 1-year anniversary. But he explains it. He could not be any more polite about it. And then he blocks her. And she goes, "We did not share his public information. There was nothing to share. It's like, what are you talking about? You have 30,000 followers on Twitter and a blue check mark. You're literally sharing his name to the public because he had the audacity to leave a negative review. Now, her argument, and let me know if you think there's anything to this, her argument is that, well, I wouldn't have done it if he said the food sucked. I did it because the review was bogus.
It wasn't, that was his experience with the restaurant.
Exactly.
How's that bogus? People have left stupider reviews on Yelp, I can guarantee that, without being, like, personally called out, via the only thing she didn't do was, like, post his actual credit card information, like, people have definitely had stupider complaints. Honestly, like, I would be kind of irritated about the cancellation policy, too, because she's assessing $25 per person. Okay, devil's advocate.
He knew that when he signed up, didn't he? Should have read the fine print?
He probably should have, but not everybody does. He still got $50.
Even so, right, exactly. Even so, I'd still be pissed about it, and I'd still reserve the right to voice that opinion on Yelp without being called out by the fucking owner personally, And so she goes to somebody else. So other people who have legitimate complaints. So some guy goes, I did own a business. I wasn't as successful as you are, but I didn't start with the many advantages you've earned during your previous career, so customer service was paramount. And that's a good point because, like, look at the fact that this woman is a media personality. She's friends with a lot of, like, important people, right? That helps. Do you think that helps?
Right.
Yeah,
absolutely.
You're not a normal small business owner. You have an advantage right away. You get good press, etc. And she responds to this on Twitter, on her public Twitter, and she's a business owner, saying, shut the fuck up. You do you, and I'll do me. Okay. And then it goes on. You're so high and mighty, huh? Let's see how professional you act when somebody publicly trashes your business on a major forum. Maybe you should pick up.
It happens every day to us.
Yeah, right. And we fire back at people because, like, we're in a different line of work. We're not like a restaurant. We're a freaking blog that tells it like it is. And if she wants to start her own Turtle Boy, more power to her. But you're running a restaurant, not a Turtle Boy. You know what I mean?
Well, the point being, though, is, we are directly in the business of pissing people off. We get trashed on a daily basis. I'm not going around looking up people's IP addresses, getting their full names from the comment section to go, I didn't like the comment that you left about my writing. Like, that's insanity. That's just, that is a bad move for your own personal development, if nothing else.
And so she, she just, this went on and on. She just shit on everyone who didn't like it. Now, she has and it appears as if the tweets are down because I don't see them anymore. Now, she has reached out to the Twitter account several times and asked them, to take the blog. She thinks I run the account, and I showed you some of the messages. And the girl who runs the fan account, he told her like 4 times, this is a fan account. Email this email address. And she kept saying, like, how could you do this to me? You're ruining me. Blah, 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 blah. You getting attacked by dogs there, Bristol?
Yeah, no. Honestly, my husband just went after a fly with a electric bug killer, and they just went nuts. So I'm going to walk away from that real quick. Sorry.
No. And so,
never dumb on that.
She's going on and on. He's not a customer. He paid you $50. It seems like that's a customer to me. But anyway, follow the rules. You'll all be happy as fucking clams. Blah, 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 etc. So, I don't know. I just thought it was, to me, this was like, the blog didn't even shit on her, right? Like, South Shore Turtle Girl wrote it, and I do the rewrites on TV Daily News, and I read it all over, and I'm like, this is, like, one of the most neutral blogs I've ever seen, right? Do you think the blog was shitting on her?
We called her, South Shore Turtle called her scissorific. I think that's a compliment.
That's a great compliment. I mean, she looks good.
Yeah, right? I agree.
Right.
No, she does. I mean, I don't want to infringe on straight pride, but, know.
And so she...
A couple drinks in me in college, you never know.
$20 is $20.
No, but I mean, it was by far one of the more mild ones.
Yeah.
Again, like, this is commentary on what she put in public.
Yeah, totally, man. Let me bring up she wrote me a bunch of friggin' emails. Let me read an email to you I got from her. She said, I've been a big supporter of you guys for years, and this is what you do to me in my business? How has she been a big supporter? Have you ever heard her pimp out our blog anywhere? I don't recall that. She says, do you have any idea what you're doing to my business, my staff, and my family right now? People are harassing my brother at his place of work, and my mother is in tears. God, I hate this. Now I'm getting pissed. Okay? Once you come at me with that shit, like, oh, you wrote about me, and then your fans did this, and that's your fault. Fuck out of here. That's a failure Swift bullshit. Okay? Enough of that. I completely reject that line of thinking, okay? We didn't tell anyone to go after your brother. I have no idea who your brother is. I don't care about your brother. I don't care about your mother. Nobody mentioned your mom, okay? Stop acting like we're responsible for that. Secondly, you put your shit out there, okay? You put it all on Twitter. You have the 30,000 follower account. I'm banned from fucking Twitter. I can't even talk on Twitter. You can, okay? So be grateful for that. And so no, you did this, right? Enough of this shit blaming on my mother's in tears. I had an employee quit because she's scared to work now due to the harassment over your article. So that's my fault. You guys should really stop and think about how you hurt people before you hit the keyboard. I will never forgive you for this. You've hurt me and everyone around me beyond repair. This is irreparable, this fucking blog.
Oh my God.
Irreparable. I'm a good person. I never should have been a target so you can have internet clicks. I have no words for the amount of hurt you've caused. My reviews are tanking because of your classless followers, and now I have lawyers trying to repair this. So I don't know what she means by that. She's threatening to sue. I have no idea, but what do you? And then she got another email because I emailed her back and I said, I'm like, I don't get what the problem is. You chose to put this out there. She says back, you're right. You don't understand. Keep up the great work. You're doing amazing things over there. It's really amazing content. Congratulations. You all must be so proud. Do I sense sarcasm there?
I feel a little bit. Can I just interject real quick, though, and say that to our followers, you guys are classy as fuck.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
That was offensive. You guys are classy as fuck.
Yeah. Did I say they weren't? Sorry.
No, she said that we have classless followers, but this is the woman who literally told someone to shut the fuck up because they didn't like
the irony
the way
of it all.
that she, talked someone who didn't like her cancellation policy.
The lack of awareness on her part is just amazing. That, like, how dare you publicly criticize my business after I used my social media account to name and shame and dox a private individual because he had the audacity to give me a negative review based on his, performance, based on his experience. Like, so one more email from her, in which I said, so you said you played no part in this? Do you believe you should have the right to publicly shame people when it's given in this, your business, but also believe it doesn't have the right to comment on your public spectacle? She responds by saying, I had very few comments on the tweet, and few and far between negative ones. I own every single thing I've ever said in my life, but the only one who made a public spectacle is you. Please do not contact me again. Thank you. So, evidently, I am the one who made a public spectacle by simply commenting on her public tweets. The woman owns a freaking restaurant in Boston. And I'm sorry. Okay, let's be real here. Enough pussyfooting around with this shit. Okay, Jen? Right? You're a tough girl. Right? That's your whole thing? Like, I'm a Boston girl. We're fucking hot up here. We don't take no crap from nobody. Fucking Britt McHenry talks shit to me on Twitter. I fucking clap back and I want to meet her in the ring with Barstool. Okay? Like, that's the fucking public persona that she's going for. So you want to be a tough girl, Jen. Okay? You're in the wrong fucking line of work. Okay? You work in the restaurant industry. No matter what restaurant you own, somebody's not going to like it. And they're going to leave Yelp reviews, and you're not going to like it. Well, guess what? A lot of people, like you said, Bristol, had left positive reviews. The food there looks excellent. I would eat there, in a second if I was in a business of being able to afford $85 dinners, okay? With no booze. So I would not, you got a lot of good fucking reviews there. You got one negative review. And this is what you do. I would suggest that you need to get some tougher skin or else you shouldn't be in this line of work. Because your fucking spectacle that's going on Twitter right now, and I bet you it's still going on. Let's go check it out, her Twitter, for a moment. She tweeted
start another one pretty soon.
she'll be
thick
back.
Skin.
Right.
You glossed over the most weak email I've ever seen somebody send to, and she's like, "I might not handle things right every single time, but I'm learning." Like,
she
shut
said
the
that?
fuck up. Nobody cares about your personal fucking journey.
Oh,
shut up.
Exactly. Yeah, it's like you're a fucking business owner. You don't get, or just rebound from this.
We're not the people to say that to, though. The person that she doxed is the explanation that she owes for that, not us. We don't give a fuck, clearly.
Yeah, exactly. So she's let's see. So she is still tweeting up a storm. She's saying things like, let's see here. And she's more than welcome to come on. She goes, let's see. I'll think, haha, you're right. Fuck that tweet. I take it back. I don't know. Maybe she's calmed down. Oh, it certainly brought out the trolls in full force. Scary shit. Let's see what that one's about.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Did she say it's scary?
Scared.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm scared. She is. Do you believe that her employees quit? Yeah.
No, scary. I mean, honestly, it's the internet. I think by 10 o'clock this morning, I had already been threatened to get kicked into the teeth twice. Like, it's not serious. Calm down.
Yeah. This is what she writes on
internet.
She wrote this 3 hours ago. In light of the great things happening this week at Table Boston, I've made a promise to myself to try to have more patience, be less defensive, be more understanding, and to curse less. Let's see how this goes.
Super.
Again, thoughts on that?
How narcissistic is she?
I would say, I don't know if I'd call that narcissistic. I would say maybe that's one of those conversations you're supposed to internalize with yourself, not on Twitter. That's
what I mean. Like, but why does she think that we care? Like, nobody cares.
Right. I see.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, nobody cares about your personal journey to be the best to you. Like, it's not important at all.
Yeah.
Like, good. You probably should measure your reaction better.
Yeah.
Just do it. Like, don't talk about it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you should already be there. Like, we don't want to follow this along. Somebody comments and says, just curious, was it the Turtle Boy sports article they wrote about you? They obviously don't understand your line of business. I got news for you, Joe.
Right.
She's not going to bang you, buddy. Okay? Sorry to burst your bubble with this. So she goes, nope. But it certainly brought the trolls out in full force. Scary shit. Very scary, people on Twitter saying mean things about the business. Okay? And so, yeah, this goes on and on. She's just been commenting on a lot. I had nothing against Jen Royle before this. I still don't on a personal level. But I would argue that, like, to blame Turtle Boy for this completely self-inflicted wound seems counterproductive. No? At best?
No, I mean, I don't know her. I can't have a personal problem with her. This is just, this incident, I can't say her personally, but this incident just highlights the things that I hate about people on the internet.
Yes.
Like, you own your own reaction. If you put it in public, it now belongs to the public. People are allowed to have opinions. And, stop thinking that everybody cares about every little thing that goes on in your head, because we don't. Nobody cares. I don't talk about myself, to ad nauseum on the internet, because I know that nobody cares, right?
Yeah.
Like, I cannot stand, I put something out, I got negative feedback, this is everybody else's fault, I'm a victim, and now let me tell you how this is going to change my life.
Yeah.
Like, nobody cares.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, this isn't your personal growth change. Like, it's very Failure Swift-esque. Very.
Right. You know what I mean? Because when people put stuff like that up in public, like, I hope I have more patience and I've learned so much. Like, it's not even self-reflective. It's just so that people are like, oh, that's okay. You screwed up, but everybody does better, and I'm so proud of you, and you're so smart and wise, and, like, shut the fuck up.
Yeah, exactly. So why don't we take some questions from people before we end this, before we call it a night? Any questions you guys have? If you don't like what we're saying, Jen Royle, you can go back to your fucking country. Get the hell out. Go fix your own country first. Just kidding. Just kidding.
That's racist.
Yeah. France or wherever you're from. Let's see. Yeah. If you don't like... You know what? That's a good point, Bristol. You know what people always say to me? If you don't like Facebook, go and create your own social media. What? Isn't that the same thing? Aren't they exiling me? Telling me,
yeah.
You talk a lot of shit about Facebook. Why don't you leave? It's the same fucking thing. I'm oppressed. I want an apology from everyone. Damn it. I condemn you.
You should have a parade, actually.
Yes,
I think
a parade.
We should throw you a parade now.
We should have an anti-censorship parade, Bristol.
You know what? I was thinking. I was like, I want to have like a human pride parade. Like everybody show up and pat yourselves on the back. You're bipedal.
I like it.
Good for you.
Yes.
You are a human being.
Yes.
Like
yes.
That's an accomplishment.
Yes.
I feel like that's how half these parades are. Like congratulations, you exist.
Yeah. Fuck cats and shit. Yeah. Fuck you, animals.
Yeah. Fucking toads.
Yeah.
No.
Fuck you, toads. Yeah.
Everybody gets a trophy.
All right.
We should have our own parade. Our parade would be lit.
Yeah. So people are asking, do you think you could ever get on his show now? No, I can never get on the Hillman show now because, first of all, I was always cool with the Hillman show. I always still like Greg Hill, and I was always cool with Danielle. But you guys are forgetting the thing. Danielle is best friends with Leah Genduso. When I blogged about Leah Genduso, that was kind of burning the bridge permanently with Danielle, I think. We can all agree. So, I also, now that they're WEI would never, ever, 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 ever allow me on their airwaves. Even though I've done so much for that fucking channel, right? They would never, ever, ever, ever allow me on their airwaves simply because they're gutless. And I have exposed a lot of their private emails as well, as you guys have seen with Murchison on there. So, no, I do not think that. Next question says, are you going to have a float in the Super Happy Horseshit Parade? I am guessing, Charles, there will not be a parade. Bristol, do you think there will be a parade?
I hope there is, but I don't think it's going to happen because their fundraising goals are unrealistic.
They're broke, man. They got no money. How the fuck are you, and what?
Right.
Like, how much would Milo charge to fly across from England to be in this fucking parade? How much would he charge? Like 50?
Oh, he's in England?
He's British.
I didn't know that's where he was still. That's unrealistic. I mean, just in general, I've read that a parade can cost anywhere from like $20,000 to $30,000, and they can't get to $5 right now.
Like if you're Milo, you've been blacklisted by Twitter and Facebook and everything. You're making money with appearances. Obviously, he's going to charge a pretty substantial fee to be the Grand Marshal of this parade. He's a well-known person. No fucking way they can afford him.
He's going to show up.
No! This whole thing, it's never going to happen. So, no, I do not. If they would allow us, I would have a parade. I would definitely have a Turtle Boy float. But there won't be a parade. And they wouldn't allow us if there was. There wouldn't. So, that's what I think.
I don't think we're on good terms right now, no.
Oh, no. It's going to get... Bristol's got more coming on that. Right?
Yeah, I do.
Yes, correct.
Yeah, I do. I've been trying to word it very carefully because they cannot... Have you noticed they cannot stop popping onto like our YouTube and our blog and emailing, and they just really cannot stop crying. It's disgusting. I hate weakness, and I hate weakness in these supposedly ultra masculine men. Like,
Nicholas asks, would you go on Kirk's show even though he's with Barstool? Yes, absolutely. I'm a big Kirk fan, and I've been very outspoken about things I see wrong with Barstool, but I've also said when Kirk came back. When Kirk joined the Barstool team, that's when I got back on Barstool. Okay, only his podcast though. I don't listen to the other shit. And I've never heard Blind Mike before. I think Blind Mike's good. Steve Robinson he brought with him from the Howie Carr Show. That's the best podcast besides Turtle Boy on the internet right now. Of course, I absolutely would be on that. And Kirk has invited me. We don't have like a date set or anything like that to come on sometime. It's right in Framingham, so absolutely, I'd like to, and I expect to be on the podcast eventually. In which case, I won't take back anything I said about Barstool because I meant all of the legitimate criticism I had about them. However, $20 is $20. You know what I mean? Yeah, basically. Are you publishing the Murchison shit? After publishing the Murchison shit, you'll never be on WEI. Exactly. That was my I realized I was burning that bridge when I published all that shit. Let's see. Any other questions you guys have? People would be mad because their support animals are not bipedal. That's true. Uh, yeah, people.
There is a song on the internet, "Don't Be Specious." I love it. My daughter played it for me. It's pretty good.
Yeah. You should bring Jerry over and remake the Kirk and Callahan show. Yeah, I mean, I couldn't afford Jerry Callahan. He's probably making like $1 million a year, so I wish I could afford him. Jerry could never be on a stool. Yeah, I doubt. I mean, Jerry's a little old for Barstool, you know? Kirk's a little old for Barstool. I'm old for Barstool. So I don't think they would have Jerry on there. I mean, I don't know why Jerry just doesn't retire. He's got to be close to retirement age. I think he just likes to talk. I don't think he knows how to create a podcast. So I don't know what the hell Jerry's going to do, but I'd like to see him back on the radio because I find him entertaining. So anyway. All right. Any last minute questions? Did the Brighton ADA ghost? Yeah, I gave up on that one. I can only fight so many battles at once, Charles. You know what I mean? I can only fight so many battles. Never ends, right, Bristol? These fucking lawsuits.
No, they're really, yeah. I mean, and we were talking, like, there's not one sympathetic character.
No,
in these lawsuits, like, no people. Redeeming qualities.
Yeah, who is the worst of everyone who's ever sued Turtle Boy? Who's the worst?
I mean, I gotta go with Ryan Waters, but that's just because of all the facets to that.
Yep. Second?
Probably the one that we can't talk about.
Okay, yeah, he'd be up there. Gaffney and Failure are up there too, you know?
Yeah, Gaffney's just sad to me, and Failure, like, I don't, like, she's fascinating to me because, like, I'm pretty sure she's malingering at this point, but, like, you almost gotta feel bad for her, like, she's delusional. She's just absolutely out of her mind. Like,
yeah.
She needs to sue you. This is like for her own benefit because she needs something to do with her life because she's clearly not selling any of her shitty MLM shit and she's not doing the singing or anything like that. Yeah. She's quite upset with me still, huh?
Failure? Yeah, she does not like you because she thinks you're trying to bang Metro, which you are.
Not seriously.
Well, you know, just to see if you could.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, anyone could. That's why she was really fixated on like my picture versus my live stream, which I essentially like my Junos is there. I look the same, like low res camera in the dark, but nothing's altered. And she was like, "Oh, no wonder she's like, I'm 85% of the population is more attractive than that woman. That's nothing special. Like she should be used to it by now." Anyone, you could probably bang Metro.
I probably could. If any chick listening right now started grabbing Metro's cock, he wouldn't tell you to stop. I'm telling you right now, he would not tell you to stop. So
no, he'd be like saying no and like shaking his head yes, like oh my wife, no, but he'd be like yes, yeah, I love my wife, but keep going.
Yeah. All right, cool. Any other questions before we call it a night, guys? You should buy. Turtle Driver says that you should buy Failure Swift lingerie to get Metro. You should do this.
Oh man, that stuff is poorly made, though.
Yeah, you wouldn't want that.
Have you seen it? It's really. I don't think that it would flatter any body type. Like that's really. She went to like the Foxy Lady and paid $20 an hour to get those models, and not a good look.
Yeah, Hillary Dudley keeps talking about a pop-up. I have no idea what you're talking about, Hillary. If you'd like to explain what your question is, I can briefly answer it and call it a night because we're running out of time here. So if you'd like to ask, I'm not sure what you're talking about. Can we please get a pop-up? Any idea what she's talking about, Bristol? She's posted it several times.
Like a pop-up, like a storybook? I don't know what that means.
Yeah, I don't know what that means either. I'll give her
You can just message the page with that request and we'll see what we can do.
Yeah. So, all right. So, Failure Swift court date. It's going to be a little over a month. We don't have a date yet. All right. When you came to Malden and sold merch.
I got a couple of those in the works. right now.
Is that what a pop-up is?
She means like when you set up a tent at an event, and yeah, like we're working on. I have one locked down, but I'm not gonna really blog about it or anything. I just want to wait till it gets closer because we're 2 months out from that almost, and I don't want people to forget. But it's a good cause. It's a good event. I'm friends with the organizer. It's going to be a good time, so that'll be coming up.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, we're gonna call it a night here, and we will see you guys again on Thursday. Nice spirited discussion. If anyone ever wants to debate me, you're more than welcome to come on. And as you saw with Bristol, it's very respectful. All right.